Okay, to start with, we got a mixing bowl. This is the Glass Bake 475. This is a 9-inch. This is a 9-inch glass plate. We have Kretschmer's wheat germ. We have Bob's Red Mill flaxseed meal. We have eggs. There's a pinch of baking soda we use in this recipe. And today we're going to be using butternut squash and zucchini. Now you could change them around. I'm going to be using this food processor, but if you don't have a food processor, you could use something like this, and it'll do the same thing. Sometimes we can buy the vegetables already shredded, but that's pretty much what we're going to start with. The first thing we do is I measure all my ingredients, except for I just put a pinch of baking soda, but I measure all the ingredients. So I'm going to weigh the flaxseed meal, which is a ½ ounce, which would be equal to a tablespoon. If you want to use tablespoons or scale, this is the way I measure. So it's 1/2 ounce flaxseed meal, 3 tablespoons of water, and we mix that with the flaxseed meal. Mix that around. Now this is something I discovered by mistake, actually. I was using flaxseed meal as a supplement to my diet, and I'm reading the package, and on the bottom of the package it says vegan egg replacer. Combine 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal and 3 tablespoons of water for each egg needed. Let stand for 5 minutes before adding your recipe. So I discovered this. It's a great thickener too, because I don't use starches or sugar or grains in my diet, except for wheat germ, of course. And I used to like gravy, when I was consuming that kind of stuff. And I found out that this flaxseed meal, if you look at it now, it's getting thick. We mix it around and we let it sit in the water for a few minutes, and it gets thick. So that's the first thing we're going to start our recipe with the flaxseed meal. Next, I'm going to add the vegetables. So, like I said, we're using the butternut squash and the zucchini today, and I'm going to put it in the food processor, and then we're going to measure that out. So we don't have to make the noise, so I'm going to stop for that right now. Okay, so I finished processing the vegetable, and this is tough to get off. Either way, we're going to measure 8 ounces of the switch of the butternut squash and the zucchini together. We turn the scale on. You can use a cup, measure with a cup if you like, or 8 ounces is the way I measure. So this is the mixture. This is what it looks like. Okay, that's 8 ounces. Zero out my scale. I'm going to measure out my Kretschmer wheat germ. For this recipe, we're going to use ½ ounce of wheat germ. If you're measuring with a cup and a spoon, it would be 1/8 of a cup. Here we go. It's ½ ounce. We're going to use some skinny syrup also. You don't have to use syrup or flavoring, but at this point you can put in sweeteners like I use Truvia. Well, for this recipe we're going to be using a 0-calorie syrup. And we're just going to throw 3 squirts in. I'm going to put a dash of baking soda, just a little bit. This one, we're not going to put the fat in now. We're going to save the fat for butter after it's cooked. All right. So after we have these in the mix, we're going to add protein, which will be 2 eggs. Oh, I forgot to mention cinnamon. We like cinnamon. We put cinnamon. You could put pumpkin pie spice in this, but cinnamon as much as you like. I like a lot of cinnamon. Okay, then we're going to fold this, take it off the scale. I'm going to fold this to combine it. Good. All the ingredients, keep mixing around. Make sure you choose a big enough bowl that you're not going to be making a mess all over the place. I'm sure there's another way to do this, but I like precise measurements. The plan that I follow, we follow precise measurements. So this way I'm not going to lose any of the measurements that I put. I'm going to be able to scrape all of this out and put it into the cooking dish. All right, it's getting there. We're getting very, very combined. You can see it. That looks good. All right. So now this is the best thing that I have found that has worked. Is this? It's a 9-inch. It's a glass bake, which is it's kind of vintage, I guess, but it's a glass bake. But you can use a Pyrex, any somewhat similar bowl. The thickness. This is about 1.5 inches. Try not to go lower than that because it will fill this up, and you don't want it to come over. Before we put it in, I use coconut 0-calorie spray. Coconut is, I just love the way the coconut oil works with this. We pour in the batter. Everything's in there. You can see it's right almost to the top of the bowl, of the cooking plate. And I'm ready to throw it in the microwave. I'm going to put it in the microwave uncovered. I'm going to just put a little bit for good measure. Uncovered for 5 minutes. And then we'll come back. This is very hot as it comes out of the microwave. Make sure you use some protective clothing. Here's what it looks like. If it's not cooked thoroughly, try 30-second increments until it's cooked full through. Okay? So it is a little bit above the pan. As it cools, it will thin out. So we're going to take it out of the pan. And that's it. may be moist, but as it cools, it will dry. And that's the hostage meal, abstinent, wheat germ, egg, and vegetable muffin. Thanks for watching.